Hey guys, it's me, it's Chris Blake Doctor. Welcome to my really awesome tutorial. I've had a few people ask me in the past, how I make, object show, like, avatars, because, I do VRchat, and people on VRchat ask me sometimes, and I'm like, I should make a tutorial. So I'm doing that. Welcome to my really, really simple tutorial. Obviously the way I do things will be different to the way other people do stuff. And also, I've only been doing this seriously for about a year. I don't know everything. I hardly know anything. But I hope this will help slightly, I guess. But yeah, so I'm just gonna show you how to make Blocky from BFDI. I think he's just gonna be my example character with the default Blender cube. I'm on Blender 4.5.3, but most versions are pretty similar, unless there's some really weird version that's got like nothing on. But if your version is similar to mine, it'll probably work. I'm gonna delete the light because you don't need it, and hide the camera because you don't need it. First of all, you want to get a reference photo of your character. If it's your OC or a different character, it's usually useful to get a reference, so I'm gonna do that real quick. The type of file you save the image as doesn't really matter, even if it's like a web file, that's that file type no one likes, it'll still work. To import your image, you want to hold Shift A, this is how you add most things, and then Image Reference. And then my blocky thing is here. I needed to put, oh yeah, I forgot. You need to be in Y view. I'm really smart. Be in Y view, which is up here. There's a shortcut for it, but I never use the shortcut. This is just so the image is flat. There we go. There's blocky. See, now it's flat to the screen. I'm not really good at explaining stuff, I'm sorry. I always work in like the set angle views unless I'm looking at it from a different angle, but now we have our block. I'm gonna assume you people know how to use Blender somewhat, because I won't have to go over every single thing. I'm just telling you how to do an object show character. Which, by the way, this is object show character in the way that you're making it for VRchat, because the way you have to make the rig is different to how you just rig a normal object show character, because it has to be humanoid. Yeah, I hold S, or I press S so I can scale, but again, if you've used Blender for more than 5 seconds, you should know that. I'm just gonna make this reference a bit smaller. Block is really simple because he is just a cube, which is why I'm using him as my example. But yeah, okay, this is Blocky. This is a cube. This is a really, really funny looking reference picture, but I did that on purpose. Object show characters aren't really known for being tall. But yeah, anyway, block, and now I'm going to add a second cube, and I'm going to scale it to, like, leg size. And I'm going to go into the modifiers tab and add the mirror modifier on the cube, because the legs will be the same. Same with the arms, but I'm not doing those at the moment. But yeah, going into edit mode, and I'm going to make sure the X-ray is toggled. You can toggle this with Alt-Z, but I always just click on it. A lot of things I just click on. I'm going to extend the legs up. It looks really weird in X-ray, but that's okay. Obviously this isn't how it's gonna end. And then usually I will bevel the leg in, so it's slightly more. I could easily use a cylinder. It's just how I do it. To bevel, it's Control B, by the way, in case you don't know. But again, I'm going to assume you have some Blender knowledge. If you want to know how to just use Blender, there are plenty of Blender tutorials. This is my character tutorial. I don't know everything. I'm tired, by the way. I have tea. Everyone knows this is a staple. Basically, just look what I'm doing and then copy exactly what I'm doing. Or don't. There's plenty of other people who can model better than me. Right, so he's got really stumpy legs. These probably are too thick. But Blocky's a little fat anyway. But yeah, and then I'm going to, with Control R, I'm gonna add a loop cut. The feet are always like the most annoying part for me because I can never really get that BFDI roundness. I don't know. Out of X-ray mode, grabbing these faces at the front, and I'm going to extrude them on the Y-axis, and then do it again. So now there are feet, but obviously they are not like round at all. Also, I think they're a little bit too small at the moment. Back to X-ray mode. Grab these. That's probably better. Again, you can always go back and edit things. Then I'm going to grab this, and then I'm going to add another loop cut and do this. I could also obviously add more loop cuts if I ever feel like I need to. This foot looks like doo-doo and garbage. But you know, that's just how it goes. Sometimes you make something and it looks like ass. You just have to fix it. Somehow. I'm going into the scale tool just to stretch it out. Get less wide. I'm really trying. I'm usually good at this. I think it's because I'm recording that I suck. I can model. Like, when I want to. This is slightly better. Keyword is slightly, 'cause it's still not great. Just, again, play around until you're pretty confident with something you have. This is a foot. Blocky is a little bit fat and he's in my way. I might need to like stretch all of this. Obviously this looks a little bit weird, so that's better, I think. Yeah, that's better. There we go. I've got a better foot shape. It's still not like perfect, but it is better. I can't tell if his legs are too small because Blocky is such a weird character. But again, I can just... I mean, you can use this tool if you want, but I don't really like that one. I'll just go in and do this manually. But I don't think the like foot part is big enough. I'll just grab the top part of it and then raise it. Need to raise these parts too. This is my that's good enough foot. Because it's ugly, but it works. If your foot looks better than mine or like worse, that's okay. I think I need to fix something here because what's going on here? God, it's really annoying me. Hold on, let me add a loop cut right here real quick. There we go. That's better. But yeah, if yours looks like way different to mine, or it looks similar, it doesn't matter as long as you're happy with it. Again, just play around with it and eventually it'll look decent. But yeah, there's the start of Blocky. I'm just gonna go back in here and shrink it. I'm also gonna go in and shade smooth, which it doesn't look great, but I just prefer looking at shade smooth limbs than not. See, yeah, obviously this is like an old Blocky ref. This is like really early season 1, so it's got those limbs. It's obviously his feet don't match it super well. These are more like later season legs, but that's fine, I think. Depending on obviously what you're going for. I'm thirsty. I'm gonna drink I have soup and tea. I have my delicious soup liquid. This soup is really salty. I don't think I made it well. I'm sorry if I'm really bad at making a tutorial. I'm really tired for one. I'm tired a lot, so this was never gonna come out at a good time. Also, I'm just not really great at talking people through things, but I'm trying. But you've got your blocky foot, and now you need his blocky hands. I think I still made his legs like too tall. Aww. Okay, I'm just gonna leave him like that. You don't have to be super accurate to your ref unless you're really trying for accuracy. I've never really tried accuracy with my models. Unless it's the Full Moon's Initiative models, I try for those. I'm the person that makes them. But yeah, now we're gonna go with Blocky's arm. Obviously, Blocky has really short arms, which don't even reach past him, so I'm just gonna go with this length, I think. And then do the same thing where you bevel. Again, you can just use a cylinder. This is just how I do it for some reason. And then we're gonna grab a sphere. Click on like this little add UV sphere, like triangle arrow thing. You don't need to have the world's most perfectly smooth hand, so just, especially for objects or characters, so you can turn it down quite a bit. I think 10 is absolutely fine. You can go lower, actually. It doesn't really matter. You can go higher if you really want to. But I think it's fine. Beautiful. Oh yeah, also, something I do in the overlays tab at the top, I was telling statistics, just so I can see how high poly or low poly my model is. I do this because for VRchat, it doesn't like it when like a model is over like 7k polygons on Quest. It already starts to get into like lower quality. If you play VRchat, you know what I mean. Yeah, it's really annoying, but it's whatever. Most of my models are under like 10k, but some of my newer ones are under 15. The Full Moon's Initiative models that I will put on screen just so I can show you my models. I really like them. I might go into them in here actually after we're done, but who knows, I'm just gonna shoot smooth, shoot smooth. And get off of X-ray mode. Obviously this is the hand. Also, obviously these two things aren't connected, you have to like hit both of them so you can grab them. So in case, again, if for some reason I've never used Blender before, select them both and then hold Control and J and then they will draw into one object. And also add the mirror modifier for this. I might have made his arms too long, but also Blocky's really dumb. I might have to put his arms a little bit further up, maybe. That's fine. This is a really dumb picture of Blocky. But yeah, there we go. And now we want to add, in the center, we'll do this automatically. Control R, add a loop cut. Obviously, because the arm needs to bend. I'm bending my real life arms for some reason, and I just cracked them. And then I'm gonna grab it, bevel, and then add another loop cut in the middle of that. That'll be our bend for the arm. And do the same for the leg. I already put a loop cut here. Bevel. This is usually all I need for, like, seams for bending. It's usually, the bending's usually fine. Obviously if it isn't, then you add a few more. Same with the foot. Just add one. And it should be fine. I don't know, about this because this is a separate object, so it should be okay. But again, if it isn't, we'll go back and fix it. Yeah, now we've got the basis of our blocky. We need to add a face. Really simple. Just go into your add mesh, go for circle. And again, I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit because the eyes need to be a little bit smooth. Go to edit mode and press F so it fills, or else it's not filled. I don't really know the wording. I'm really good at this. We've got the world's longest eye right here. I'm gonna go into X view and then I'm gonna hold control as I spin this the right way. Wow, such beautiful eyes, Blocky. Inside the mind of someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Modifier as usual, mirror, you know the drill by now. Most things are mirror modified. You want to get this as close to the face without clipping as possible. I don't really know how far apart his eyes need to be. I think they're a little bit further apart. Oh, my voice. Chat, I'm dying. I think I'm coming down with something. I wanted to make like 7,000 videos and I've just not been feeling great, but that's pretty much the usual. Also, the day I'm filming this, 9/11, something happened this day, and it was my beautiful son, Pancake, my tortoise. It's his birthday today, so I hope everyone wishes him happy birthday. Also, you may be wondering, why did we need a blocky ref when everyone knows what blocky looks like? He's literally just a cube. Well, again, it's useful for proportions if you want to be proportionally accurate, and also it's good for color picking, which we'll get to when we do the texture paint stuff. Yeah, eyes, I think these are still a little bit too wide. And then I'm also gonna go into edit mode for in the vertice tab. You can just press 1, 2, and 3 to cycle through these. So I'm gonna go on proportional editing just so I can move these. It's a bit too big, actually. I do this because I like the squish. I think it's quite useful. And don't forget to turn it off. So sometimes I build like too oval shape, which is weird because those are ovals. Yeah, I ended up spending too long on his eyes. There's his eyes, and then to make a mouth, I will just go back into the eyes, and then I will Shift D duplicate a single vertice, and then I will just make a mouth myself. I'm just extruding. It might look weird, but again, just go in and fix it. Or make changes to it if you don't like how it looks. God, he's kind of scary looking, isn't he? But usually blank staring objects are kind of scary. I mean, I could obviously make his face look more like that, but I don't wanna. I might just make his mouth bigger, but also that might make him even scarier. You know what? That's a kind smile. That's good enough. I don't mind how horrifying this is. Obviously, if you're making a model and it looks horrifying, you don't want it to, just play around with it. You could make him sad. Okay, well that was called the clipping horrors of anyway. Yeah, and also you can turn on proportional editing if you want to grab multiple at the same time. Really useful, I think. Oh. Anyway, turn that off. I am decently happy with this monstrosity that we have made. That's better, actually. Again, I try to keep my stuff lower poly because VRchat. Only really watch this if you're doing this for I mean, I guess if you aren't doing this for VRchat purposes, you can still take this tutorial. It's just, this is how I do stuff for VRchat, which means I make everything worse on purpose. I don't know. Oh, this soup. Is so... oh. I can model, guys. Anyway, right, so you've got your blocky, you're happy with them, or you've got whatever character you're trying to do. I don't know, I guess you could follow along and just make blocky with me. Yeah, you've got your character, but he's boring as hell. You go into the material tab, which... oh, there we go. That's what it looks like in the material tab. You can't even see his face because it's just the same thing. He's just white. You don't want that. So, you click on your blocky, you go onto the material tab, and then you go on base color, and then you eyedrop him, and you need to put your roughness to 1, IOR to 1. Oh yeah, I forgot. Good tip. I always forget this because I use most of the same product. On the render tab, which is this little TV looking thing, if you scroll over to color management, if you change AGX to standard, that will make the color better. It makes it way better. Yeah, I forgot about that. Tip a little bit late, but yeah. So yeah, now blocky is red, and then I'm just gonna combine these two limb sets because they'll be the same color. They both still have the mirror tab, but that's just in case you need to make changes for now. Obviously make these black, and then go into his face, and add black. And there, now he's looking a little bit more like blocky. Obviously you can go into the individual materials here, and then you can take like the top color and then assign that, and then it would be more accurate. But we are gonna have to bake this, which means we're gonna have to reassign all of the materials anyway. But for the sake of just looking nice, I might as well just do it now, just so I can show you. Yeah, look at that. There's our blocky boy. He's got all of his different materials. Obviously, he's got no outline yet, but don't worry, we will get to that soon. But yeah, you've got blocky. I think his limbs are a little bit too thick, and that's a little bit annoying because it's a bit annoying. I mean, I can't really change this part, can I? I mean, it's fine. Yeah, no, this is fine. Right, so we got blocky. Now, before I bake all of this stuff, usually I do the rigging, which means we need to combine all of these into one mesh. So make sure you apply, go in and apply all the modifiers you might have in any different part of the model. And then once you've got them all applied, grab every single part of him. So I've got every single part selected, and then Control J. Go into Object and apply our transformations just so you know it's definitely correct. And now blocky's in one piece. You can still obviously go into edit mode, and if you ever realize you've got an issue, you can select like a part, like an arm, press P, and then you can do set by selection, and then it'll be separate from the model. Obviously, I don't have any issues, and I think he looks silly. I'm dehydrated, I'm dying. Oh yeah, also, make sure you save. I haven't saved this once, if my computer suddenly crashed or Blender suddenly crashed, I could lose all of this. Which wouldn't be good. So if I had to save somewhere, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna do that right now. Save, I have a Blender folder. Here's all my Blender stuff. All my secrets. I name some of this stuff dumb things, but a lot of them I name... I've just got a more stylish junk blend that's got like 8 different models in it. I don't recommend doing that if you make a new model and make a new file. I'm dumb. So I'm gonna name this Blocky Tutorial. And I'm gonna save it here. And it'll be saved. And then every now and then just click save, or you can do Control S if you don't want to go into the menu. But yeah, okay, we got Blocky, and now we're gonna make the rig. This is usually the hardest part and the most annoying part. Blocky doesn't have any fingers, so I have to worry about that. If your character has fingers, Godspeed. I'm gonna hide this because you'll need it. Alright, rig. So excited. Usually, I just kind of use the same rig for everything and then edit it slightly, but obviously it's a tutorial, so go into your funny add thing and find armature. Tough X-ray, I forgot what was on. Some stuff to notice. Go into the data tab, and I changed this to stick. You can keep it as whatever bone you want, but make sure it's in front of the model. Obviously, it's not actually in front of the model, it's just viewed in front, which is very useful. But yeah. Go back into X-ray mode, but also go on to not material preview, or else you can't actually see the X-ray. Yeah, this is his hip bone. Again, this is a VRchat rig, which means it has to be humanoid, which means he has to have hips, spine, chest, neck, head, despite the fact he is just a head or a body. It's okay, it'll still work. Also means it has to be very squished. Also your hip bone needs to be above the leg bones, which obviously don't exist yet. And then just... this will be hip, spine, chest. The thing with the chest is it needs to be level with where the shoulders will be. So make sure it's like levelish with that. And then neck can be really small, and then head. That's just a basic body setup right there. Doesn't matter that much. And then Control D from here. Add a shoulder, which obviously doesn't actually have any shoulders, so this bone also doesn't matter. But make sure where the chest is, Control P, keep offset, make sure it's connected to the chest. That's like a must. And then I'm gonna go on to this mode because I also snap to X axis, because this bone needs to be in the middle of the bend so that it knows it's going to bend there. And then here, and then hand. You don't need to do this for the other side. There's a symmetry thing that I'll copy and paste it over that we will do. And then same with here, I'm just gonna Control P, keep offset. Same thing. You can always change your view if you don't like how it is. This foot doesn't matter that much. Alright, bones, and then you don't need eye bones because most object show avatars' eyes don't move. Because they're, I mean, look at them. But if you want, like, blinking, I think you need eye bones. But we could do the eye bones, but I'm not gonna really do anything with them because they are flat. But it's whatever. Leaving an eye bone, make sure it's connected to the head. Alright, this is good. This is absolutely fine. I don't know if it's normal. I don't think they are. It's the default cube. Anyway, now you have to go in and name the bones. Which is simple. We go into the bone tab. And then we just start naming. This is the head. It's a little annoying when they're smaller, because you have to try and grab them. It's the neck. It's the chest. Spine bone. We're only doing the essential bones. That's why there's no like upper chest or toes. You don't need them. Or fingers. And this is the hip bone. And then this is the most important part. When you go into these, this is the upper leg dot L. It's because it's the left. It's important to have that dot L. And this is the lower leg dot L. And this is the foot dot L. Same with the arm. You got the shoulder dot L. Upper arm dot L. Lower arm dot L. And the hand dot L. And then I. And then once you've got all of your bones, you press A to select all of them, right click, and then symmetrize. And then it will duplicate your bones. These will have .r. Very useful. I really like this feature. It means I'll have to do it all myself when it's the same thing. Obviously, just don't put like .r, obviously, if it's something that doesn't need to be symmetrized, like the body. Or like if you've got like a hat on your character and you need to add a bone for that, obviously it's got one hat, then whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah, now I've got the rig. You obviously do apply the rig. Now, I'm lazy, but click on your character, hold shift, then click on your skeleton, control P, and I do automatic weights, which doesn't work super well, obviously, for object characters, but I just do a lot of editing. So I go in there, automatic weights, and now, when I go into pose mode, things will move. Obviously, this is not how we want it to be. The face doesn't move. The block is kind of deteriorating and deforming a little bit. Obviously because Blocky's only made of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 faces. It doesn't have as many issues, but if there was more faces on this, there would be a lot more deformities. And but this is mostly fine. You can go on symmetry things if you want to move them both at the same time. But yeah, as you can see, like, the bending is absolutely fine. This is all fine. The hand isn't exactly how I want it to be, which means I will go back and change it. And obviously the eyes are connected to the body, which is weird and not good looking. And the face just isn't connected to anything. So, we're going to go, I'm going to save real quick. And then we're going to go into edit mode to the data tab. I'm going to grab, select hip, there's nothing there, which is good. Spine, nothing there, which is good. Chest, nothing there, which is good. Neck, nothing there, which is good. Head, also doesn't say there's anything there. So we're gonna want to grab, with L, Blocky's body and his mouth, because these things should be parented to the head. And assign them, and then I, obviously this is what's connected to the body. For some reason we don't want that. So we are going to remove, but then assign the left eye, and do the same thing with the right eye. Shoulder, we don't have any shoulder bone, which is good. This is all good. For hand though, I only want the hand to be attached, so I remove this. Some of the lower arm, remove this. On the other side. Hand, we don't want it to be the arm, just the hand. And the lower arm, don't want any of the hand. And I think the legs were fine. Yeah. Back into pose mode. Now obviously there's some issue right here because the hand goes far past the end of the arm bone, and it doesn't look good. So solve that issue. Oops. And do that on the other side. Will this fix the issue? I don't know, that's why I just have to keep going back in and trying things. No, that looks horrible. It's an issue with the bone. Let me go on X. This might be too far up or too far down, I can never tell until I just move it slightly. Right, it was too far down. And now it doesn't do that great. Okay, yeah, that's better. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, but now it's better. And now our block is rigged, and you can, he still looks like he's deforming, but I don't think he is. I think he's just big. Obviously, these will just clip into the body, which isn't what you want. Which is why sometimes I have to put these really far back, and move the eyes ever so slightly forward off the body, to where you'd only notice it if you were looking perfectly at the side. And then they can more easily, obviously they can't go everywhere, but again, why would they? They're really hard to pose in Blender, but again, that doesn't matter, it's just VRchat reasons. Point is, they can go slightly up and slightly down, and that's all you need. But yeah, now we've got our blocky, and he is rigged. You can give him a little pose. There's an issue here. This is always why I play around. There's an issue here because I can't tell if it's the hand. I think it's part of the hand. It'll be the same on this side. Yeah, where something doesn't have any connection anywhere, which is why it's a little bit angry. But I think this is part of the hand. Yeah. Just go in and then just weight paint it. I had X symmetry mode on, so it did the same for both areas, but now it's fine. That always happens sometimes, which is always why I like to post things in Blender before I move from TNT, because you'll notice things and be like, oh, I need to fix that, and then if you don't do it, then you might never notice until it's too late and you have to redo a lot of things. Yeah, I'm just doing a random pose just to show this off. But yeah, we got a little blocky. Very cute. But we're not done. Obviously, if you want lineless blocky, this is absolutely fine, but if you go into the materials tab, there is a lot of them. There's 5. Obviously these two are both black, so we can move this down and remove one of them, and then we only have 1 black material. But 4 is still way too many materials for VRchat. It literally wants you to have 1, or else it gets angry at you. AKA the performance will be poor and people will not have your avatar on by default, and sometimes you want people to see your beautiful avatar without having to yell at them to turn it on. So we're gonna combine these materials, and to do that we need to grab our block, go into edit mode, grab all of him, UV, smart UV project, island margin, 10, and then unwrap, and then we can go to the UV editing tab. Woohoo! I burped, I'm sorry. Let's grab our block, and then this is what his UV looks like. ugly. I'm gonna make this slightly smaller and then move it to a corner because you'll see why. Okay, we've got his UV, and now we're gonna go into the shading tab. This is where all of our different slots are for our materials, and what we're wanting to do is Control A, texture, image texture. Make a new one. We're gonna call this blocky. I like to make these ×2, so they're. You just put the little star asterisk symbol and 2, and it'll times it by 2. It's very useful. And we've got our blocky. New image, and then we Control C and then Control V on all of these slots. Make sure they're all highlighted white on these, every single one of them. Make sure blocky selected, go into your render engine, go to cycles. There's a bake tab. We're gonna want to go, if my mouse is like broken, I'm sorry. We're gonna want this to be diffuse, and we want to turn off direct and indirect, because we don't need that, there's lighting related. And we're gonna want to bake him. This might take a few minutes, depending on how good your computer is, or a few seconds. So I'm just gonna wait. Alright, that's done baking. I go back to my UV tab, you'll notice the color is here now. Now, you could leave it just like this, but in VRchat, I don't know if, especially for my older models where I just left it like this, you'll have like these weird artifacts on your models where it's like, the texture's like really blurred at certain angles, and it's just not nice to look at. I don't think I could do an example, but like weird little lines appear on your thing. It's not nice to look at. I don't like it. So I'm gonna change that. Obviously, get rid of all of these materials now. White blocky. Go back into shading, new, add in your image texture that you just made, which is mine's called blocky. Remove this, get rid of this, and instead drag your color into an emission, which will give him this nice, really clean color, which I much prefer. Yeah, he looks fine. You don't really see issues because there's obviously nothing really on here that would give an issue, because blocky's so simple. But what I do now is, even if you have like 1,000 different colors, I drop all of them into little splooges. Obviously there's only 4 colors here, so it doesn't really matter. But I make little splooges of color. And I grab... Let me... go back into this mode. I will grab the different sections, and I will shrink them to fit into each of these little splooges. Obviously, if you've drawn something on your model, like you've went in and you've like drawn something on, so smiley face, you want these things to still be big so they can be more high quality. So leave your UV space for those, or you might have to have multiple material slots depending on how much detail you put in. Mine isn't much, which is why it's really easy to just grab all of these and just shrink them down so it can be as absolute high quality as possible in their little bubble. Grab all of these. And now they're all in their little sections, and it's beautiful. Stuff to make a grown man cry. And then you could obviously just delete all of this, but I don't, because it doesn't affect anything. And then make sure you save your image. Again, mine will be saved in my Blender stuff as a blocky.png. I have a file for my stuff because I do so much. But yeah, and now I need to go back into Eevee. This is the part where I see if any of my normals are flipped by going to backface culling in the corner here and doing shadow and camera. And none of my normals are flipped, but I do need to show you just in case this happens. I'll do it myself. So obviously, if a normal was flipped, this would happen. It would look absolutely normal here. But you turn backface culling, it'll suddenly like disappear or go like transparent. This happens all the time with me. So if one of your things suddenly disappears and turns transparent, you just want to go in, grab it, hold Alt and N, and then flip. And then it'll be absolutely fine. Something that happens sometimes. But we need to do this, especially being on a mission, so we can make our outline, where we say welcome back, Blocky. I'm going to grab the outline color from Blocky here and make another new splooge of color, which is actually quite similar. So it's my new splooge of color. I'm going to save again. And then we are going to grab the block. And we're going to Shift D, duplicate. Make sure this mirror thing is off. We're going to get shrink and flatten. We're going to expand it. And we're going to flip the normals. And then push all of these into this color. And then we have an outline. I think the outline's a little bit too thick, but that's why you can just go back in. And then shrink it a little bit more. But bam! Outline. Obviously, if you don't have this stuff on, then it will not do it correctly. That's why you need to have backface culling on, so it works. Obviously, Blocky's arms are black, they don't need an outline. But yeah, now we have a beautiful outline for our beautiful block. And he's beautiful. I'm really proud, actually, of this model. It's really dumb looking, but Blocky is quite dumb. But yeah, now you've got a little Blocky. And I'm gonna make a part 2 to this video where I show you all how to actually put this into VRchat, but I've been recording for almost an hour now, and I'm tired. Okay, we'll go over and adding like toggles and expressions and like talking animations, and then we'll upload it to VRchat. For now, this is just how you model it. There are tutorials out there on how to upload stuff to Unity, so you might just need to do that. But yeah, we've got Blocky here. I think he's quite cute. A cute little murderer. Little Blocky guy. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry if this wasn't helpful at all. If you need any help, make sure to leave a comment asking for help. Or if you're stuck, try to explain it the best way you can. I won't be able to help everyone because, again, I still don't know everything. But also, if you've got an issue, there's probably 1,000 posts on the internet about how to fix it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I've got Mr. Bill Blocky. Goodbye. Midnight. Oh, my PC!